Alright, so I'm going to try and keep this relatively short. Basically, Apollo 18 takes place in 1974, I believe, and it focuses on three astronauts that go up onto the moon for some secret mission, and even they don't really know what's going on, and the movie doesn't really make it clear on what their intended purpose was to be on the moon, like what their official mission was. I don't really understand what that was. Basically, as you probably know from the trailers, there's some aliens on the moon, and basically these guys are like unofficially, sent there to investigate the aliens, and even they don't know what their, I don't even know what their mission was there, but I guess that's their real purpose there. And basically, throughout the entire movie, the aliens are like toying with their things and stuff like that, and stuff goes missing, so they realize something's up, and then they realize there's like this Russian ship that landed there with them too, and the guy's dead. So they're like, oh, who must be messing with all our stuff? And then they finally conclude that it's aliens. I'm pretty sure this was intended to be a horror movie, but for me, the movie just wasn't scary in basically any way at all. I mean, sure, there were some parts that were entertaining and interesting to watch towards the end of the movie. I mean, I thought the ending was a lot better than the beginning. Like, the last, 20 minutes or so were, pretty entertaining. But, for the most part, this movie sort of dragged along, like, the first 40 minutes. I mean, despite its, 85-minute length, I think, or something like that, I felt that a lot of the movie's parts could have been cut out completely just because they were really boring. It didn't really add anything and didn't really progress the plot of the movie. And I definitely think that these slow parts that could have been cut out definitely contributed to me not finding any real tension here. I mean, a lot of the parts here I felt could have been a lot scarier and more intense and entertaining just because of the way they were shot and the way the acting was, and just overall, intensity of the movie just wasn't as great as it could have been. It just felt a little bit, it was entertaining for me, but I just didn't feel the horror or tension or fear that most horror movies have. I mean, it just wasn't that scary at all. Nothing really jumps out at you at all. And throughout the movie, they use sort of the same shot of the outside of their spaceship or whatever, just like rocks. They just show you the rocks or whatever. And even though that is meaningful in the movie, don't get me wrong, it is meaningful. They're not bullshitting you there. That actually plays an important part in the movie. But basically, they show that to you several times throughout the movie. So then you're like, okay, we get the point already. Let's move on. We don't want to have the same shot 7 times over the course of 80 minutes. It's a short movie. We could, you could have added something else that's more meaningful to the plot itself. In terms of the aliens, you don't actually really see them very much in the entire movie, only the last 10 minutes, and even then not really at all hardly. And basically, I'm not really going to spoil what they are. Well, I kind of did before in the review, if you caught on to my meaning in the last part I was talking about. But basically, it leaves you wanting more, it leaves you wanting this, you want to be satisfied in terms of what they look like, and you want your curiosity to be satisfied, I should say. And I don't think the movie did a great job of doing that. You kind of wanted to see more of them instead of all this, bullshit about them talking or whatever. I mean, it just seems I felt you want more of the aliens rather than just them talking. In terms of the acting, I don't really have any complaints. I mean, in general, I don't really think acting is a big part for me because they're professional actors. You already expect them to be good at acting. And while these actors aren't exactly, A-listers on the Hollywood list, I still think they did a pretty decent job, in terms of them talking and stuff like that. I mean, they were believable if you consider that a big part of acting. So overall, would I recommend this movie? I mean, it is entertaining. The second part, I just felt the first part of the movie could have been a lot more engaging and entertaining. I mean, if you're easily bored with stuff, then I definitely wouldn't really recommend it. If you're a big horror fan, then this will probably disappoint you in terms of the amount of horrors this movie features. It just isn't very scary at all. But I mean, if you want a mildly entertaining movie about, space and aliens and stuff like that, then I suppose you could see this once. It's about average for me, It's nothing great, but it's nothing horrible either.